Well, hello year two and welcome back after your half term. Today we are starting the work that we will need to do to get going with division in a few weeks. So we are going to look at making equal groups through sharing today. So like we did when we were starting multiplication a few weeks ago, we're going to do a little vocabulary check, and it's the same piece of vocabulary. We're going to just recap our knowledge on it. And that word is equal. And while we might use the word equal day to day, it has a very specific mathematical meaning, and that is the same, the exact same. And we know well the sign that we use in maths to represent equal. You know it, we use it all the time, but it has a very specific meaning. It must mean the exact same. So just keep that in mind, okay? All right, we're going to start. We have some cupcakes here. Maybe these were the cupcakes that the tiger gobbled last week when he came to Sophie's house for tea. And today we're going to make sure that if Sophie has a guest, that she doesn't end up with nothing left in her cupboards, because we're going to share them equally so that everyone gets a fair amount, the same amount as each other. So let's start by answering these questions. How many do we have to begin with? How many cupcakes do we have? How would we figure that out, I wonder? Maybe you already know by just looking. You're good at subitizing, which means seeing a pattern and being able to put a number to it. Well, we have some strategies. We could count in twos together, couldn't we? 2, 4, 6, 8. So we have 8 cupcakes to begin with. How many equal groups are we sharing between? How many plates are there? There are 2 on, aren't there? That means 2 people are going to get to eat these cupcakes. All right, so now we're going to need to share these cupcakes. Will we do it? Will we be very systematic and do it one by one to begin with? Let's do that. 1 for you, 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 and 1 for you. Now I have a question. How do we know we have shared these equally? Well, we know that there are none left over, and we know that each person has the same amount. We can see that. We can check and count each plate and make sure that each person has the same amount. How many are on each plate? Can you tell that by looking? There's 4, isn't there? So let's answer this. Let's fill in this sentence. 8 cakes shared equally between 2 is equal to 4. 4 each. Each person got 4 cupcakes. All right, let's go on to our next problem. There's a lot more cakes here, isn't there? Should we count them? I think if we counted them one by one, it would take us quite a long time. Have you noticed anything? I've noticed, I've subitized in my head that I can see a pattern that there's 5 cakes in each row. So I'm going to count in 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. So how many cakes do we have to begin with? We have 20. How many equal groups are we sharing between? Well, we still only have 2 plates. There's only 2 people coming to this party to get some cupcakes. So we're going to share them equally. Now we know we could pull them one by one, couldn't we? We did that a few seconds ago in our last problem. Here I can see, though, that they're divided quite nicely for us, so I'm going to pull them in rows. All right, that's row number 1. We'll take the second one over to you. So you've each gotten a row. Oh, there we go. You've got a second row, and excellent. You've also got a second row. All right, how do we know we have shared these equally? Well, we check and make sure there's none left over, and we check and make sure that both plates have the same amount of cupcakes, which they do. How many did each person get? Can you tell by looking? Can you subitize? Or maybe you need to rely on a strategy. You could count in 2s, couldn't you? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, there's 10 on that plate. I wonder, did you figure that out by adding in 5s? 5, 10. Lots of ways. Okay, so we shared it between 2 plates. Let's say we started with 20 cakes, shared equally between 2 plates is equal to 10 cupcakes. Wonderful. Let's move on. All right, here we have another problem. Now, how many cupcakes do we have? Did anyone notice that this array is the exact same as on the last slide? There's still 20. Do we want to check? 5, 10, 15, 20. A few. Yeah, we're correct. There are 20. All right, let's put in our 20 there. We haven't just got 2 plates this time, though. There's more people coming for tea. How many people are coming for tea? How many groups are we sharing between? Well, I can tell automatically that there's 5 plates there. Sorry, maybe I just need to count them to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are sharing between 5. All right, are you ready to do this? Let's share between 5. 1 for you. Oh dear, let me undo that for 1 second. Make sure my cupcakes will end up on top of the plates. 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, and 1 for you. 1 for you, and 1 for you, and 1 for you, and 1 for you, and 1 for you. 1 for you, and 1 for you, and 1 for you, and 1 for you, and 1 for you. And our last row, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, and 1 for you. Well done. All right, are we sure we've shared them equally? Let's go through our criteria. There are none left, and each plate has the same amount on it, so we have shared them equally. Did anybody notice a faster way to share them? Did you notice we were dividing between 5 plates and there were 5 equal columns? We could have just pulled the columns over, couldn't we? But we did it very systematically just to be sure. How many are on each plate? Can you tell at a glance? That's right, there's 4. So let's fill in our sentence. So 20 cakes shared equally between 5 is equal to 4. Brilliant, we've done it again. Let's move on to our next one. All right. Oh, let me go back up there. I went too far. Okay. So again, with the exact same array of cupcakes, there's still 20. Should we check to be sure? 5, 10, 15, 20. There is. How many? Okay, let's write that in. It's systematic. How many equal groups are we sharing between? Well, how many plates do we have this time? Oh, look, we've only got 4. We don't have 5, we've got 4. So this time we're sharing between 4 people. Okay. Can anyone see? Are we going to share them out one by one? Well, we could do that. Can you see 4 equal rows? I see 4 equal rows. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give a row. Oh, hang on, did it again. Miss Higgins. To make sure my cupcakes sit on top of the plates. Okay, I'm going to give a row to each plate. All right. Don't forget, you could count these out one by one. But we want to start using our mathematical patterns and our subitizing to help us in our sums. Okay, so let's check. Are they shared equally? Well, I've none left, and I've given the same amount to each plate. Wonderful. How many are on each plate this time? Can you tell automatically there's 5? Good, me too. Okay, so 20 cakes shared equally between 4 is equal to 5 cakes each. Excellent. We're on a roll here, aren't we? All right, I think this is our last one. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've still got 20 cakes. It's the exact same array. We're not even going to check this time. We know that that is true. Okay, let's write that in, 20. How many people, how many equal groups are we sharing them between? 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 plates. Okay. This one I'm going to do it one by one, okay? Because I've seen no obvious breaking of rows or columns or anything like that. So I'm going to go one by one. So 1 to you. We did it again. Let me make sure they all, there we go. Okay. 1 to you, 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 and 1 to you. 1 to you, 1 to you, 1 to you. We're being very systematic here. 1 to you, 1 to you, and 1 to you. Uh-oh, I have a problem. I don't have enough cupcakes left to share them equally. So this is not equal and it doesn't work. So we can't do it. We're gonna undo all of that. We can't divide 20 by 3 plates equally. So we're not going to do it because it wouldn't be fair on our guest to give one person more cupcakes than the others. So that is an example of a not equal sharing and a not equal groups. So it doesn't work. Keep that in your head. All right, so I want you to choose how you're going to learn today. You have 3 options. You can build, you can draw, or you can write. If you choose to build, you're going to go and collect up items from your house. So I said maybe some Lego, maybe some pieces of pasta, or maybe some straws, something that you can manipulate and divide up easily. And when you have 20, the first time I want you to share them equally between 2 plates and record how many items on each plate. Then share them equally between 5 plates and tell me how many items are on each plate. Share them equally between 10 plates and tell me how many items are on each plate. And then start all over again, and this time do it with 12. All right, if you are going to draw, we're going to draw some part whole models. So my example was to share 20 equally between 4. So I wrote 20 in the box, and I dropped 1 in here, 1 in here, 1 in here, 1 in here, and I kept going until I shared my 20 pieces equally in my part whole model, and I drew them. So I'd like you to do the same. I'd like you to draw part whole models to share 15 equally between 3, 25 equally between 5, 6 equally between 2, and 30 equally between 10. And finally, if you take the challenge to write, you can look at my example where I have looked at the picture given and then I have written the sentences that 6 has been shared equally into 3 groups. I have 2 in each group, and 3 groups of 2 make 6. So you do apply that sentence to each of the 4 images here. Enjoy!